everybody, Mark with Midnight Snack Movies, back again today for a new video. Hope you all are doing well. Happy October, everybody. It is October 1st. Very excited about that. Cheers to that. Hope you all are doing great. Hope you have a great start to your October. Even though it doesn't really feel like October, definitely doesn't feel like fall here in the Midwest. It was about 83 degrees today. Felt like I was forcing it with the hoodie, although I had to rep my Cubs as we had some playoff action today. Didn't really go well for us today, but we'll get another chance tomorrow. But that's not what this video is about. I love October. It's my favorite month of the year. It's spooky season, it's fall. I love fall weather when it actually shows up. And horror movies, you know, pumpkin flavored everything. I just love everything about the fall, the leaves, etc. And I can't wait for it every single year. And every year I get a bit zealous in terms of how many horror movies I'm going to watch in the month of October. So I usually make it a year of trying to watch as many as possible and as close to 31 movies for the 31 days of October as possible. And October is my busiest part of the year when it comes to my work. And so that usually goes by the wayside pretty fast. But we're off to a good start so far this year. I am 1 for 1. So I watched my first movie of spooky season, and I want to give you my quick thoughts on it. And if I'm able to keep this going and stay at a movie a day, I would love to do maybe some like YouTube shorts or something, just some short like 1-minute reviews of these movies as I watch them. Because I've got 20 movies on my list this year that would be first-time watches if I'm able to check them out. So I'd love to be able to document my 31 days of horror and 31 days of Halloween this year if I end up following through on that. I'm fingers crossed. I really feel like I'm committed this year and I'm gonna do my best. So without further ado, the first movie that I watched for October 1st, and I've actually gotten to the point where I've got like a theme for each day. So the theme for today was a movie set in the fall, right? I'm trying to manifest the fall weather any way that I can. So a movie with fall vibes, and I went with The Village from 2004, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. I had never seen this movie before. I haven't seen like a ton of Shyamalan films. There's only maybe like a couple that I have seen. But of course I know, you know, his typical tropes. He's known for a big twist reveal in his film, so I knew to expect that going in. And I'll get to kind of the twist in a little bit and go through my detailed thoughts on the film. But, you know, first impressions, this is an immaculate fall vibe movie. It is set during the fall-winter period, this isolated community in Pennsylvania that is completely cut off from the outside world. And in between this village, the titular village, and the towns, as they describe them, where the rest of society lives, there are these creatures that stalk the woods outside of these towns. And the film kind of follows these villagers and their interactions with the creatures and the outside world, etc. And it's kind of billed as this horror movie, and it has some horror elements for sure. But really the heart of this story is a romance between Bryce Dallas Howard's character and Joaquin Phoenix's character. And I want to start with performances. These performances are impeccable. Loved the performances in this film for the most part. And I was, as the movie was starting and they had all the actors run across the screen there, I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's in this? This person's in this? This person? Like, it's a who's who of just amazing actors in this film. You got Bryce Dallas Howard, you've got Joaquin Phoenix, you've got Adrien Brody, William Hurt, Brendan Gleeson, Sigourney Weaver. I mean, anybody who is anybody is in this thing. And for the most part, they are all really good. And they're obviously very, very good professional actors. The dialogue in this thing I thought was pretty hit or miss, a little choppy. I think there were moments, there were scenes in this that felt almost Oscar worthy with the dialogue, and then there were scenes where it just didn't work at all for me. So the dialogue was very hit or miss. Adrien Brody's performance is not my favorite one of the film, and I usually like Adrien Brody. I don't really have anything, I don't think it's anything to do with him as an actor. It's more with what he was trying to do in the film and what he was probably told to do in the film. I just didn't like the way he tried to sell this character, so I'm going to stay out of spoiler territory here, but his character is dealing with some sort of mental disability, and the way he went about performing it, I just didn't buy. I think it could have been way more effective if he'd have chose a different way of performing this character. So there were elements of that I didn't really feel like worked. The twist, I was a little bit let down by. I think maybe if I'd have seen this when it came out in 2004, or maybe if I'd have even seen it a few years ago when I was a little bit earlier into my film journey and I hadn't seen as many films, that I may have been more impressed and wowed by the twist. But I just felt like it was pretty, predictable, not in the sense that I predicted everything that happened, but it felt kind of formulaic and kind of lazy at parts. There are definitely some plot holes here that don't really make a ton of sense, so I was a little bit let down by that. But I think the best part of this film is the love story at the center of it, and the way it comments on love and society and what you're willing to do for love and etc., how we make connections with people, all of those things. I thought this had an amazing heart behind it, and I just loved the vibe of this film, like I said at the beginning. So I'm going to give The Village a 3 out of 5. Really solid movie. I definitely recommend, if you haven't seen it, to watch it. Try to find out as little information as possible about the film before you watch it. But it's a film that's been out for over 20 years. There's all kinds of stuff on the internet about this thing. So yeah, it's kind of hard to avoid. So that's going to wrap up my thoughts on The Village. Stay tuned on the channel. I do hope, like I said, to do some YouTube short reviews. I've never done a YouTube short before, so this will be new territory for me. And just to put out my thoughts, checking in on some of the horror movies that I'm watching during the spooky season. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are watching for spooky season. Are there any horror movies or spooky movies that you go back to every single year and revisit? And then I think I'm going to do another video today here. Haven't done a video in a month, so we're going to do 2 videos in one day. I went to watch One Battle After Another last weekend, and last weekend was so busy for me. I was all over the place, so I didn't have time to do thoughts on that movie, and I have some thoughts. I really, really love this movie. I'm going back to see it tonight, so I may do a quick little review tonight for One Battle After Another. So stay tuned for that, and I will check in with you guys later. Bye.